So on Wednesdays, I think I'm going to do a Wednesday walk and talk. Just to give you a little history and a little background of what's going on the homestead and some of the history behind the homestead. I am excited to say that my husband did order me a really nice camera and tripod. He is very supportive, thinks that this is something that's been put on my heart to do, to make a living journal for my grandchildren. Then he's all for it. So I am doing that for the grandchildren. They moved to Texas. Their daddy got a good job over there, and I haven't got to see them a whole lot. So I know I'm missing a lot with them, and they are also missing a lot of what's happening on the homestead. So my husband decided to buy me the camcorder camera for YouTubing for my birthday. My birthday is in March. This little area back here is what we call the pond. Unbelievably, I'm sure to some of you it just looks like a little hole in the back of the property. And basically that's what it is. But there's a lot of history in this little area. I'm going to try to get a little closer without tripping over stobs, which isn't hard for me to do since all of my health problems. But I'm getting there. So this is the little pond area. We come back here and shoot rifles and sight in guns and stuff and pistols, whatever. It makes a good little backdrop because it has a big hill behind it. But oh my goodness, during the summertime, this pond would be full of water and mud. And raising my son and his friends and the other teenagers that hung out and my nephew, they would all come back here and play in the mud, which is, you can tell once the kids are grown and gone, it don't take long for things to grow up. But however, they used to ride four-wheelers back here and had mudslides, literally. Whenever I learned how to insert pictures, I have some pictures of all of that, of our friends and my son and his friends playing in the mud, acting like kids, like country kids are supposed to do. He wasn't really big into the social media, didn't have a cell phone till he was old enough to drive, and that was just for him to have in case he had an accident or broke down, he could call home. It wasn't for no other reason. And I'm sure you can hear the thunder rolling in. I'm trying to get a better view of what this actually looks like. So since this is where a lot of memories were made back here, it did kind of get growed up. We're cleaning it off. I have a little burn pit right there, and you can see it has a nice little ridge right here. And we're going to make it a little hangout since this was a place where there were lots of memories made. A good place to hang out in the summertime and ride the four-wheelers. It's December right now, so you see it's fall. Looks a lot different. So we're creating a little haven back here on our property. I thoroughly believe there's no reason to go off too far from home. You spend all your time and your money at home. You might as well create it into something that you really like so you can enjoy it. I plan on coming back here. It makes us feel like we're very primitive. You hear some noise of the cars, but not too bad. We're on 10 acres, and we're surrounded by woods. So it makes it really nice. And it gives us a chance to practice some of our survival skills. Set out a few traps and see if we can catch a few raccoons. And sometimes we come out here looking for frogs at night, which is a pretty popular thing if you're from Louisiana, especially near the swampland. Gigging frogs and alligators is a really good pastime. But that was in my younger days. I was able to do all of that, and it was fun and exciting. But now, things have slowed down a bit. Kids are grown and gone. Grandkids are with their parents. So maybe one day they'll be able to come back over here and experience some of the stuff that their dad did when he was a boy. And not only his dad, but I fostered children. I did that for 7.5 years. I believe it was a little over 40 children that I had in my home. At any given time, I had probably 4 to 6 children of various ages. It was definitely a journey. And of course, lots of them had lived in the cities and stuff like that, and they never really knew what the great outdoors was all about. Lots of them were scared to even come outside at night. But let me tell you, once they got to find out how fun it was to play in the mud and dance in the rain and camp in the wilderness, these kids, they just didn't know what to do with themselves. They had never experienced such enjoyment and excitement. Things that they had only heard of or read in a book. They had no clue how much fun it was to cook your food outside on an open fire, how to pitch a tent. Never even held a fishing pole, which is so strange for me, thinking these children were all from Louisiana and they've never even went fishing before. But that's the kind of things that I like to do with the children when they were here. Let them learn things and experience things and enjoy the great outdoors. We got a rain coming in. There's supposed to be some kind of bad weather coming in. Then it's supposed to be extremely cold. I'm just hoping and praying it's not quite as bad as it was last year when Texas froze over. But we're pretty used to the cold weather. Pretty prepared people. We try to have everything stocked up that we think we might need. We have backup plans for heat and water and such. So we do pretty good with that. I've always been really prepared. I'm making me a little wall right here. I guess you could call it a wall. It's more of like a netting. Yes, it's very frugal. It's going to add some color back here. I'm nowhere near finished with it. That's only about half of the ways I need to go with it. But yeah, I picked up some string at the Dollar Tree for $1. And of course we save our egg cartons because we have chickens and they lay eggs. And when they don't lay eggs, we buy egg cartons. So sometimes we get a bunch of egg cartons, and plus there's a few people that were saving them for us. So I said, I don't really want to put no light out there because I'm very frugal. I don't want to waste electricity, so I don't want to run electricity. But it was actually pretty good. It's styrofoam. I just cut the little carton up and made the little bells out of it. Tied a knot and dropped the string and just kept on going. And at night when the fire was going, we were able to see the little glitter from the fire and the shimmer from the little egg cartons. It really brightened it up. And I really want to show y'all this area because we're going to create a little haven back here and a little hangout. And I didn't want to be like one of those YouTubers that's like, oh, everything's got to be perfect before I show you what it looks like. You can see there's trees that's been cut down. There's stobs all over. I don't want to show you it being perfect when it's finished. I want to show you the progress as we're working on it. This used to be a very active part of our property when the children were here and the foster children were here. And it's probably been about 10 years or so since we've come back here. Just life changes and having medical problems and accidents and health issues. Just weren't able to get out as much as we used to and enjoy this part of our property because we were right out here with the kids, riding our four-wheelers, jumping over all these hills, going through the mud. And now, just not really able to ride them four-wheelers like we used to. And it's not just because of old age. It's because I got injured, and just the thought of riding on the four-wheeler, bouncing around through the mud and the hills, It's going to cause a great deal of pain when I can just walk outside and trip over my own feet and hurt myself pretty easily nowadays. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's really not funny. I've actually hurt myself pretty bad falling over my own feet because they do go numb at times. But for those of you that really know me truly, that's really family and friends, and the newcomers soon will find out, I'm pretty tough. I pretty much take a licking and keep on kicking. But that's just the way I was raised. You don't give up, you don't give in, you move on, you dust yourself off, and see what life has to offer you. If you don't never try, you'll never know if you can do it or not, or if you like it or not. And I'm prepared. I know there's a lot of people that I've listened to and talked to, a lot of YouTube Homestead families. We like to call them our friends, even though some we've met, some we haven't met. They've done warned me, you've got to be pretty thick-skinned to do YouTube. Well, I'm pretty thick-skinned, but I'm also a very sensitive person. Hopefully I can catch all the negativity before it even gets on there and delete such, because I'm very aware how evil and how wicked and how envious people can be, and how jealous and how greedy and how hateful, and just, they're miserable. So they want you to be miserable with them. They can never do what you're doing, but oh my gosh, they're quick to judge you and tell you how you're supposed to do something. Well, I'm sorry. I don't really operate that way. I've been pretty much known to just do things the way I think it should be done, whether someone thinks it's right or wrong or the other. I just do what works for me. It may not work for you, and I respect that. And I think that's the biggest thing with people is they just don't understand other people's ways of doing things. And if someone else wants to do everything exactly by the book, let them do it. But don't come back and point your finger at me because mine looks different, or mine looks better, or I did it quicker than you did it. Everybody does things different, and I can tell you, my hands and my arms give me fits. I do things and post pictures on my Facebook because I want others to see that it doesn't matter if you're unable to do things like you used to could do them. There is still, absolutely still, something that you can do. There's something you can do if you want to, but you do have to have that will and that drive. If you don't, you'll just sit up in your recliner and just watch your life pass you by. And I feel like that's happened to me in the last 3.5 years since my injuries. But I still just kept striving, and I still kept doing and trying to move on and to find something new to do, a new hobby, a new craft, something to make a difference some kind of way. Even if no one else even knew I was doing the things that I'm doing. There's lots of things that I like to do and I enjoy that not a single other soul knows anything about. But I know God knows, and He's happy, and He is very thankful for me and for following what I'm supposed to be doing and what He leads me to want me to do. It's not always been easy, and sometimes I look and I think, yeah, right, you think I'm going to be able to do that? There's no way. But then I'm reminded, that's exactly what the devil wants you to think. Oh, you're hurt, your back hurts, your arms hurt, your hands don't work right. You're going to be in so much pain, just don't even bother. But then you have this sense of accomplishment and this gratefulness that, oh look, I still can do something. I'm not dead yet. I still have breath in me. And then you make bread, or you make candles, or a craft, or learn a new hobby. Yeah, you feel rough sometimes afterwards, but then you're excited because you just see things coming together. And you know that God had His hand on this. He didn't want you just to roll over and be a nothing and nobody and feel sorry for yourself. He wants us to learn and grow and explore and share our knowledge with others. So many people may not really know the simple little thrifty ways that you do things. They may have never even thought of it before. So that's my hope, is to share with others just the simple things that I've learned to do and how to do it in a better way. Not to be cheap, or I don't even know what word to use here, but just to show people that you can do things a different way. You don't have to spend lots and lots and lots of money to have a very fulfilling life. And I think with the pandemic, lots of people have become to realize that. Maybe I don't need that big screen. Maybe I don't need that third row seat vehicle. Maybe I don't need this cable TV. So I think the pandemic, people want to be negative about it. I think it's opened up a lot of people's eyes. And unfortunately, sometimes bad things have to happen before people wake up and realize that there are other ways of doing things. And the world has just gotten so commercialized. People think they have to have this and have to have that. Well, I've never been one of those kind of people. I've always just kind of done my own thing. And I've always had what I've wanted and what I needed. And I've always been able to make things look nice and cozy and cute and homey and comfortable at a fraction of the price. And if there is an expensive item that I want, that is something that is helpful and useful on the homestead, I'll save money until I can get it. And keep asking myself, do I really want this? Do I really want this? And if I really want it, then I know I'm going to keep saving that money until I can get it. And people used to do that. We didn't used to live in an instant world where you could just run to town and pick up things that you wanted. It used to be different. You may do with what you had, or you did without. And if you prepare and do things the way you're supposed to do them, and be prepared for a multitude of things, you'll find that you don't need to run to the store every day. And then you'll find the more you stay home, you don't want to go to the store every day. You don't want to deal with the traffic. You don't want to pay the high gas prices. So you create this haven at your homestead. And that's always been my goal, is to grow what I can grow, raise animals for food, and make things and build things and repurpose and reuse things to make pretty things and useful things. Because sometimes people think everything they see is just trash, or it's no good, or it's out of date, or it's out of style. Bingo, that's what society wants you to think. So you keep spending money. You stay in the rat race. You never get to enjoy your home. You never around your family. It's just so amazing once God sheds light on something and you just realize, what the heck? Yeah, it really wasn't that big of a deal if I didn't go to that movie, or if I didn't go on that vacation, or I didn't this, or I didn't that. It's really not what life is about. It's what society makes us think it's about, because they want you to think, oh, you're rich if you get to go on vacations, or you have a 4-car garage. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what God has provided you with, and that's what your life is. I'm not judging that. Not at all. I'm just showing people that there is a simpler way to do things and to be thrifty and still live a very rich and fulfilling life without having to buy into all of the new gadgets that come out all the time. And it's such a much more relaxing life and stress-free life. So I just want to give a little chat about some of the stuff. Might have kind of got off topic a little bit, but those of you that know me know I'm pretty long-winded, so I don't really like writing down my thoughts and my feelings in a journal. Never really did. But once my grandchildren moved off out of state, I was like, I think I'm just going to try to start making some family videos, and then they'll have an actual living visual of things that I've done and things that's on my mind, and just different things that I like to do around the homestead. It's not going to be nothing fancy. It's not going to be elaborate. It's just going to be daily stuff that I do on the homestead, things that I enjoy doing, just to share with them the little things that they're going to be missing and that I'm going to be missing in their lives. So a little more history on this little pond right here.